So this is my chapter so far on empathy, chapter 18 of my letters to my son. When we honestly ask ourselves which person in our lives means the most to us, we often find that it is those who, instead of giving advice, solutions, or cures, have chosen rather to share our pain and touch our wounds with a warm and tender hand. The friend who can be silent with us in the moment of despair or confusion, who can stay with us in an hour of grief and bereavement, who can tolerate not knowing, not curing, not healing, and face with us the reality of our powerlessness, that is a friend who cares. Henry Nouwen said that on Meditations on the Christian Life. Empathy is perhaps the most important chapter in this collection of chapters. I believe so strongly in this concept. Truly feeling for what others are feeling will help make a better family, community, ultimately a better society. Empathy has true power. When I was a kid, I dreamed of being Superman and having superpowers to save lives. Now, having long shed youth's naivete, I look at the rainbow of possibilities and the potential to understand others in deeper, more meaningful levels. Having greater empathy and love in my life all the time is my new dream. My new superpower is kindness, fueled by this supreme form of understanding called empathy. The dreaded kryptonite, of course, is the world's greed, hate, and selfishness. There is no greater self-actualization than empathy when it's truly alive and well. The importance of physical strength becomes less, and the importance of spiritual strength becomes more important as we grow older, as we become more sensitized to what is really important. Adjusting more maturity to higher levels in the later years is important for our own integrity and psychological well-being. C.G. Jung once said, "Thoroughly unprepared, we take the step into the afternoon of life. Worse still, we take this step with the false presupposition that our truths and our ideals will serve us, but we cannot live the afternoon of life according to the program of life's morning. For what was great in the morning will be less at evening, and what in the morning was true, at evening will become a lie." C.G. Jung, a famous psychiatrist, said that. He was somewhat spiritual, kind of a Christian guy. Believed in something called archetypes as well. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross is one of the great writers of all time. In one of her books, she once said, "The most beautiful people we have known are those who have known defeat, known suffering, known struggle, known loss, have found their way out of the depths. These persons have an appreciation, a sensitivity, and an understanding of life that fills them with compassion, gentleness, and a deep, loving concern. Beautiful people do not just happen." That's a quote. My good friend Gary Beyer has seen this as he has suffered with a neurological condition called IBM for several years. And the lens that he looks at life with has changed dramatically, acquiring real insight into people he thought were his friends, but who have failed to go gracefully to the afternoon of their lives, still acting like teenagers, some of them, with their drinking and gossiping and so on. In his life, Gary has seen more and more of a clear lens developing for people who really matter, who really listen, who really have this wonderful capacity for empathy. Be a Superman of empathy, Ryan. It will reward you 10,000 times back. One of my great mentors, heroes in life, is the late Carl Rogers, a psychotherapist who championed something called empathic listening during his sessions with clients. Your Grandpa John actually got to meet him when he was doing his residency medical training at UW-Madison in the 60s. He says he was very impressed with his warmth and understanding. In his sessions, he would model this for his clients, the empathic listening. A simplified version would be something like this. Each person can speak up for himself or herself only after he has first restated the ideas and feelings of the previous speaker accurately and to the speaker's satisfaction. It's important to let the other person fully express what they are saying before interrupting. Interrupting is very dangerous for empathy because it stops it immediately from blossoming. There's a strong possibility that anger could take over too. It's crucial to be patient with the other person as they are expressing things that are close to their heart, as only they can. Carl also said, quote, "The only person who's educated is the one who has learned how to learn and change." I believe we can learn to transform ourselves into more sensitive and empathic beings. All it takes is being open to opportunity and potential to change for the better. Another one of my heroes is the late author and professor Leo Buscaglia, who said this about the almost infinite spiritual power of empathy. He said, quote, "Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. Don't underestimate the immense power of empathy." The author of the Harry Potter books, J.K. Rowling, says that having a developed imagination, a well-developed imagination, actually increases our sensitivity towards empathy. It's very interesting. That's a very interesting take, I think. Imagination is not only the uniquely human capacity to envision that which is not, and therefore the foundation of all invention and innovation. It is arguably most transformative and a revelation. It has a revelation capacity. It's the power that enables us to empathize with humans whose experience we've never shared. It could also be said that the more one reads and experiences, the more capacity can be built for empathy with different people and different situations. It's not that far of a stretch, I don't think. The great philosopher Plato once said that we should always strive to be the best kind, to be the best of our ability, because the other person is probably fighting a harder struggle. Until we can walk in his or her shoes, in his or her moccasins, we don't really know. That's my chapter on empathy. Thanks for listening, and so long for now.